Welcome back to Raw Conscious Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Tammy Chin. So this is going to be part 4, and it's been a little bit of a gap, but I am still in the desert, as you can see. And I'm going to go ahead and start right back where I left off with having my son who had just drowned and just go from there. So what ended up happening was I stayed at that place and ultimately ended up moving to the main house that was on the property and lived there for a little while, continued working, continued trying to do things that were so out of my scope of reality that it was just pure like madness inside me, and that's the only way I can describe it. It was madness. I continued going to the same job, continued trying to navigate this world with the way that it has set up, or the way that it is set up, and I was so gone out of this realm that I was clueless how to do this, to do whatever this is. I was clueless. My brain, or I can't say my brain. Like sometimes I don't even know what words to use, but for me, I was living in a whole nother realm at the same time as trying to be, I guess, human. I don't know. I don't even know what the word is for it. But it was so like it was so overwhelming because I walked in, I don't even know how to put it into words, but after having the multiple experiences, and then the last one being my son who drowned, and then having that experience, it was almost like, I know this might sound crazy, it's almost like I gosh, I don't even know what word to put on it without sounding crazy. Well, it was almost like I fully crossed over to the other side, and my vessel, my human vessel, was still navigating the motions of what you got to do to operate in this world. And I would check in every once in a while is the way that I would say it. It used to be that, I would come out and be in some other space at the same time as my body, but it was like it almost became permanent for me. It's the only way I can describe it. So I got one side of me here that is the real side of me, and it's fully living in a whole nother realm. And then I got the me standing here that is robotically going through the motions of this reality. So of course it was a train wreck, but at that time I did choose to still go to church, because in my mind that's the closest thing that I could find to who I was. Although being the closest thing, it still wasn't anywhere close, but it was still the closest thing. That's the only way I can describe it. So I continued going to church. I was church hopping because I kept thinking maybe the next church that I go to will actually be the church of people like me, and just went with the motions. And I was one of those church people. I went to church every single Sunday. If there was a 10 o'clock service, I went to that too. If there was a 6 o'clock service at night, I went to that too. They always had a Wednesday in between the week meeting. I went to that too. And then they'd have a what they would call like a Friday night alive or whatever, and I would go to that too. Like, I was well aware that when I was in those experiences, that I was experiencing, because I would have massive spiritual experiences in these churches. Any church that I went to, I had massive spiritual experiences. I just knew, and I can't tell you how I knew, I was the only one experiencing what I was experiencing, basically. And I was definitely a fish out of water. Like, I could not, like, like think or believe or even just comprehend what these places were telling me, these churches were telling me. It made zero sense in my head, because for me, I've always known, I've always known, like, truth, like actual truth. And I knew, and I didn't have I didn't have the ability to put it in human words. Like, for me personally, still even at that time of trying to navigate, I was still horribly developmentally delayed. Like, it was just the way that it was with everything that I had navigated at that point to even that point. I had no clue. All I knew was that which was on the other side, and that is what is real. That's what's truth. And so I continued to navigate. I continued to go to church. I ended up spending 12 years of my life in the church experience. And I had times when, I just wanted to share, my perspective is the only way that I can say it. I just wanted to share my perspective. And when I would share my perspective, I would be told things like, that's demonic and evil, and you need to go through a cleansing. And the final church that I was with, which I believe I was with them for 10 years, they would do these events that were called encounters with God. And basically what it was is you'd go to some sort of retreat out in, that is, you rent, and it would be like out in the woods or wherever, and you go to this retreat, and that's where you're supposed to get delivered from all the evil stuff inside you. I couldn't even comprehend what was evil in me, because all I knew was pure unconditional love. All I knew was goodness and love and peace and joy, and from that which was inside me. And I couldn't comprehend what could be so bad. When I mentioned having the Ouija board encounter, which I had, nothing bad happened in that encounter. Nothing bad happened to me. But I did get rid of it, because I didn't need a board to be able to communicate on the other side. And it just didn't make any sense to me. I mean, in my own personal opinion, I truly believe every single human being that has ever been here, is here now, or will ever be here, all are able to communicate and have the relationship that I have. And so, my church experience was just very confusing for me. It was extremely confusing. And one of the biggest things that was, I hate saying it this way, but one of the biggest things that was shoved down my throat is how, if you don't accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, you're going to go to a place called hell. And it is going to be forever and all eternity.
Like, subscribe, and share.
I got some people here coming just for a moment, just to say hello. And so, and it didn't make sense to me. And then they're telling me this stuff about how this rapture is going to come, and Jesus is going to come out of the sky, and he's going to take all the people that accepted them, and everybody else goes to hell. And it's like, so in my head, I'm panicking. I'm like, nope, this can't happen. This cannot be something that's going to happen. Why does this not ring true to me? That something is wrong with this. And I made a stand. I was like, well, if Jesus is going to come through the sky and take all the people that have accepted him as Lord and Savior, then regardless of who I am and what I am, I have to stay. I have to stay so I can tell these people the truth, so that they can not have to burn in this eternal hell. And that's how I felt, and that's how I thought, and I made that declaration. That's it. I'm staying here, and I'm going to be here to save all the other people. And and I don't mean that in a way that, you know, that I felt like I was going to be some sort of a savior. My heart, because I'm so connected to the other side, is that all come to the knowledge of the truth, that which is the real truth, that which is on the other side. And honestly, when I say on the other side, that was the only human word that I could describe to describe being in two different places at one time. But the thing is it's actually within me. That which I experience is all within me. But the only way that I can make it understandable, I feel like, to other people is to say the other side. That's the only way that I feel like people will truly understand. But that's all I knew. My whole entire life is I knew the other side. I spent 90% of my life, every day, all day, on the other side, no matter where I was at, what I was doing, who I was with, or what the circumstance was. I always lived in a place where I was separated and navigating through two separate realms. And because I gravitated more to that which was unconditional love, peace, joy, like all that is good, that's what I knew. So for me personally, I didn't want anybody to have to go to hell. And if that was the truth, because it was just constantly, in every way possible, shoved down my throat, then I have to stay here, and I got to show these people what love is. I have to be here. I have to do this. And so ultimately, I've been given the knowledge to understand that there is no hell. That's they're not what they speak of, not how they speak of it, and not the way that they give the message. I mean, we can all have experiences that would be considered hellish experiences, which I have personally had, and in future parts coming up, I will speak about some of my hellish experiences. And whether it's that which is on the other side experience or the hellish experience, you feel like they are more real than here. They are. What you experience is more real than here. So with that, I am going to go ahead and close out for now. And if you liked the video, I ask that you please hit the like button. if you feel led to share, because I am trying to get my messages out to the whole world. I'm trying to get this out to the whole world, and one of the best ways that you can support me is to share this video with somebody else. So, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and also so that you can get future videos. But also, if you're watching this interview first before you've watched interview 1, 2, and 3, I highly suggest that you go back and watch part 1, 2, and 3 before you watch 4. So that is it. I'm in the beautiful desert, barefoot, and just loving feeling the ground underneath my feet, and I am going to have a wonderful day. So I'm sending that energy off to you, and I hope that you have a wonderful day as well.